Hey everyone, it's Dan here from Flexxable. My wife just got home, she's just over there at the moment, and told me a little story about my daughter this morning. She's 9 years old and she's beautiful, but she's just the clumsiest little thing you could ever imagine. She will knock anything over that she comes across. She knocked the vase over yesterday, smashed that to pieces. She'll bump into the corner of the table when she was a baby and like bruise her head. She'll trip over stairs. She's just the clumsiest thing. Bless her. And Mimi, my wife, was telling me a story this morning how she let Juliet out of the car and she bumped into one of her friends whose dog had just done a poo on the sidewalk, and Massa, Emily's friend, was like, "Don't step in the dog poo, don't step in the dog poo." And you know what happened next, right? Juliet just went into her own little world, stepped out of the car, first step straight into the dog poo. And I'm just like, God, it's funny, but it's frustrating, okay? Which is the same frustration I share with people I see in the lead gen space, okay? And I've been victim to this as well. It's like doing the same thing over and over again, and not even knowing to try and do something a little bit different. Stepping in that dog poo over and over and over again, when all it takes is a little bit of concentration and a little bit of effort to notice that there's something there that's not working, or something that you're going to step in, and then stepping to the side and trying something a little bit new. What I see a lot of in my group, and I'm victim of this too, and I also have done it myself in the past. But you'll be entering a new vertical, like let's say you're in the mortgage space. You're doing lead generation in the mortgage space, and you are looking to see what works. And what you'll do is you go to Facebook ads library and reverse engineer the market and find an angle or hook that's working for someone else, or you think's working, and you'll recreate it and put it into your campaign, and it might work for a little bit, and then it will die off because everyone else is doing the same thing. Okay. So what you've got to be able to do is think outside the box a little bit. Okay, you need to start thinking for yourself. By no means am I saying reverse engineering is a bad idea, and being able to see what's working for other people and getting ideas and angles and hooks, but you've got to be able to take it to the next level and be ahead of the market all the time, rather than copying the market. It just makes sense, right? Because it's competitive out there. So let's say you see an angle for the mortgage market, and it was in my newsfeed, and it had like 700 comments and lots of likes, and it was someone mentioning that you could refinance. The ad image was all about the bank over here in the UK. It was Halifax, and they were using the bank's logo, and they were using a really good hook for people that are banking with Halifax and have got a mortgage with Halifax. There's a way to kind of remortgage with Halifax without paying the exit fees and getting a super low rate, okay? And it stopped people in their tracks because they could see that it was Halifax. They could understand they wanted to pay less interest, and it caught people's eye, and it was quite a good ad. And it's a good idea, right? And they even had a custom landing page for Halifax, the bank, and it was obviously doing very well for them. And these guys were first to the market with this idea. So it was me. The first thing I'd be doing is going, getting 6 or 7 of the other major banks and getting something quickly up in my campaign and getting going fast, rather than just Halifax. That's the obvious next thing. But what other things could you be doing in this space? What other ideas that you can go after that not many people are doing? So you don't have to necessarily look at the end product, i.e. selling something that's that they've already got, i.e. the Halifax angle. You can start going a little bit further up their awareness cycle and start targeting people in a much broader audience, because there's a finite number of people who have got a Halifax mortgage that's going to be exhausted soon. But there's a much larger audience out there that could be people that are in their, what I call their forever home, or and I learned this from a chat with a mentor the other day, and he brought up this forever home angle because I was talking about mortgages, I think. And then there could be people that on the other end of the scale that haven't got great credit and have got a mortgage but are paying a high interest rate. And because they're paying a high interest rate, the bank forces them to have some sort of mortgage protection insurance against that mortgage. So if you tag people and you're creative or talk about mortgage protection insurance, you know that you're going to be speaking to that market that might not have as much credit, might be struggling a little bit, and either need to go into a better rate, or might be they might be open to switching or kind of reducing or pumping more equity into their property in order to get out of the mortgage protection insurance angle. Okay, do you see what I'm doing there? Okay, so there's characteristics that people have that are not necessarily related to selling them a mortgage at this time, but you can go a little bit back up the awareness cycle and think about the type of prospect that has, that lives in their forever home, or is looking to flip properties. There's so many different things you can think about, but you've got to get into the prospect's mind, the person that has that house. Okay, could be that they're looking for a home office at the moment, which a lot of people are. I actually am doing that, where we've got some plans being drawn up right now to be able to release some money from our home in order to, at 1%, it's so cheap, to be able to put a couple of offices in for me and my wife, because I'm working from the kitchen bench still, which sucks, right? It's just not the way the house is laid out. So all of these things and angles can really be used to be able to go after a new audience or a larger audience than what you're currently going after. I hope this helps. I've rambled a little bit, but if you do want to find out more about performance-based marketing and how you can earn more from one client than what you might do with 10 retainer clients, and how you can fire those 10 retainer clients and just work with one industry with a few clients and just make life a lot easier, then I've got what's called my escape agency jail game plan. You can click below, and I hope you enjoy. Take care.